question that researchers are looking into is whether or not marijuana has positive benefits in the way you behave. Does it make you more empathetic? Now, new findings published in the Journal of Neuroscience Research suggest that there could be a connection between marijuana use and empathy. The study of 85 regular cannabis users and 51 non-users asked participants to complete a test that measures empathy. Researchers also used brain imaging to study some of these subjects. They analyzed a region of the brain that plays a central role in mediating our empathetic response, and here's what they found. Cannabis users scored higher on a part of the test that assessed emotional comprehension or the ability to understand another's emotional state. In the imaging section of the study, cannabis users had greater connectivity in areas associated with emotional and empathy-related regions. People who use cannabis tend to have enhanced sense of care for other people and be motivated to engage in the world in a way that is benign and selfless. I don't know about that quote.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk to anybody when I'm stoned, like ever.
Yeah. It sounds dangerous to me. I mean, this kind of reefer madness where you begin to like other people.
No, hold on. Let me correct myself. I don't want to be out in the world talking to strangers and connecting with strangers.
Yeah.
I do feel a deeper connection with people that I already know and have an affinity for.
Yeah, so look, I have a theory on cannabis, which is that it makes you do the things that you already do, but more deeply. Right? So if you are already an empathetic person, it might make you even more empathetic. If you're already a douche, it might make you more of a douche. So that's my theory. Is there evidence on that side?
So yes, okay, so we'll get to that in just a minute. But I wanted to comment on what you just said. What I've noticed with, there's so many factors. First of all, the concentration of the THC. Right, I think that plays a role. And to do this study, I'm curious about whether or not that factor was controlled, because some people might buy pot that's just a lower concentration of THC. It's not as strong. It's a weaker strain. I want to know how that is taken into account. The other thing is, from my experience, marijuana is one of those drugs that impacts everyone differently. So it's really hard to say whether or not this drug has a similar, empathetic outcome with everyone. I think it's just gonna affect everyone differently. That's just my theory, I could be wrong. But let's go to some of the other studies, because other studies say that the result of empathy can vary depending on how it's studied. So for instance, a 2016 report used a technique called event-related potential that assesses participants' responses to a series of stimuli. The researchers found that empathetic processing was actually impaired in cannabis users compared to non-users.
So that's the other point that I made.
Yeah.
So look, I can only tell you what my friend's experience is. And my friend is a person who is introspective to begin with. And then when they're on cannabis, they get way more introspective, right? And then people who are a little bit paranoid get way more paranoid when they're on marijuana, et cetera. So look, I don't know that I'm right. I'd be super curious to study it more. Wait, I'm a talk show host. I'm definitely right. I don't care what the studies say. Okay, seriously? This is a thing that should be studied, and of course, remember, is a Schedule I drug, so we couldn't study anything about it here in America,
right?
Which was just insane. That's the actual reefer madness. If you enjoyed this video, that's because of our members. They make us independent, they make us strong, and they make us honest. Become a member today by hitting the join button below.